Hello people, this is Sonali, the Melodramatic Bookworm. If you've been here before, welcome back, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to the Melodramatic Bookworm family. I'm here today with my April 2021 wrap-up, and I am very happy to say that I have read 10 books in April. I didn't expect I would, what with channel memberships going up and my workload increasing by a little, and there's so much else going on as well. So I thought, okay, I read 5 books in March, so maybe even 6 books in April is going to be an improvement, a huge hell yes to my reading life, because my reading life hasn't been that great this year. So 10 books is a lot, 10 books is amazing. That's what I'm telling myself, at least, so as to not feel bad about my reading speed. But it's okay. It's okay. Any amount of reading is reading. Any amount of reading is reading. That's what I'm telling myself. Anyway, in today's video, I will be talking to you about the 10 books that I read in April, and some of them are amazing, have become some of my favorite books of all time, favorite series of all time. But for those books that I already have detailed video reviews or reaction videos or reading vlogs of, I will direct you to those videos. I won't talk much about them in this video because there's already so much content related to that up on my channel. So without any further ado, let's dive right into this video and let me share with you all the books that I read in April 2021. Before we get on with this video, I have 2 quick reminders for you. The first is that if you like any of the books mentioned in this video and would like to buy them, then please use my Amazon affiliate links in the description box below. It would be of immense help to me. Second is that channel memberships are now open on my channel, where I make exclusive bonus content for members. So if you like my content and would like to see more exclusive content from me in exchange for an amount every month, then please do consider becoming a channel member. The link to that will be in the description box below, as well as you can click on the join button on my channel page in order to become a channel member. Thank you. The first book that I read in April 2021, or that I finished in April 2021, was a carryover from March, which was Boys Will Be Boys by Clementine Ford. If you've been following my channel, you will know that Clementine Ford is one of my favorite people in the whole world because of how outspoken, how firm, how caustic, how sarcastic, and how amazing she is. If you go to her Instagram profile, you will see that she calls out bullshit left, right, and center, especially patriarchal bullshit. And in this book, in Boys Will Be Boys, she also talks about patriarchy, toxic masculinity, how it affects men and how it affects women, and how we as a community, we as a society need to make sure that men are not made to feel like they have to fit into this particular groove, because that's the pressure that makes them do stupid things, abhorrent things. Like, I didn't find that word for a long time, but it's exactly that, because they think that their validation from their peers, from other men, is more important than the lives of other human beings. And in this book, Clementine Ford talks about this all, how much there is of toxic masculinity present in our everyday lives, as well as she talks about rape culture and how it affects men and how it affects women. Because once rape comes into the discussion, which it rarely does, because people are like, "Oh, ye kya ho gaya?" People are like that. Society is like that. And once it comes into the discussion, women are made to feel like they are the wrongdoers, when in fact wrong has been done to the women, and their lives get derailed, while the men, they get convicted, they go to prison, they do this, they do that, and they come back to whatever work they're doing. And the reasoning that is given is that, oh, that was all in the past, he's a better man now, he's a changed man now. But that is never applied to women. And I could go on and on and on and on about this for ages, about this book and about what the book represents as a sort of hope for us women across the world. See, however much we say that, things have gotten so much better for women, who made them bad in the first place? Even now, people are like, you're a woman, don't go out after dark. But never have I heard anything being said to a man saying that don't do anything bad. know your limits. I've never seen consent being talked about. And when a rape happens, the person who raped the woman is never named. It's always like the woman was raped, as if it was her fault. And that is what boils my blood every single time. And when I read Fight Like a Girl and Now Boys Will Be Boys, I was like, oh, she has put my thoughts into words. I love this book. I would highly recommend it to everyone out there, every woman especially. So please do go read it. It's great. I gave Boys Will Be Boys a full 5 out of 5 stars. There's no question of giving it any other rating. Next is another carryover from March, which was The Namesake by Jhumpa Lahiri. This was one of my most anticipated books of all time, and to a large extent I did enjoy reading this. This is the story of Gogol Ganguly, but the story starts off with his parents and how Ashima, his mother, gave birth to him, and in a foreign country where they've gone to make their name, their customs are different. Like you have to name a child in the hospital itself for records, and they end up naming him Gogol. And this name Gogol, which is based on his father's favorite writer, Nikolai Gogol, and it sort of spins a different life for him in his own mind, how his relationship with his name changes, evolves, and how he feels throughout this whole journey forms this entire story. And it's not just about Gogol, it's also about the immigrant experience in the United States of America and how Ashima and Ashok, Gogol's parents, made their life there, and how Gogol, as an American citizen, made his life there. You can see the stark difference in the same family. Jhumpa Lahiri's writing is beautiful. It's like very fast paced. You might have just turned a few pages, but you feel like you've gone on so much further in the story. But there was one thing that I did not like. The most important thing is that the ending left me rather disappointed. Like, I was expecting so much more. It just fizzled out. It didn't even plateau. I would have been okay if it just plateaued also, like if it just went like this. But it just kept going downwards and I did not see the point. I'm sorry. But I have a full video review of this book on my channel. If you'd like to go check that out, I leave the link here as well as in the description box below. I gave The Namesake 4 out of 5 stars. Next is Brown Baby by Nikesh Shukla. This was sent to me by Pan Macmillan India, and a big thank you Pan Macmillan India for sending me this, because this was such a great read. This is Nikesh Shukla's memoir. He has written this memoir about race, about home, about gender, and about how he, as a brown dad, realized all of this when he had 2 daughters. He's writing this to his older daughter, and this is a great book if you want to read about a brown dad's experiences with a mixed race daughter and how his mind works in ways that he wants to teach his daughter to do the right thing, to understand the world better and how to make a name for oneself without giving up our brown identity. And it's not only about the positive things that he learned, like the lessons he learned and all of that, but he also talks about the mistakes he makes and the realizations he comes to see him put that out there and to talk about it in a way that does not seem patronizing, but it actually seems that he has learned a lot from that interaction itself. It was a great thing to watch, a great thing to read. I say watch because this Nikesh Shukla's writing is so lucid that you are transported to wherever he is and whatever he's talking about. That's the kind of writing that Nikesh Shukla has. It's beautiful, it's simple, it's witty, it's sarcastic, it's humorous, and he will take you through this whole book about his relationship with his mother, his relationship with his daughters, as well as him trying to make sure that his daughters don't give up on either one of their identities, and to acknowledge both of them, to acknowledge that they are brown and to love and embrace it with all they have, as well as to acknowledge the white privilege that they have because Nikesh Shukla is married to a white woman. This is a book that I would highly recommend. Please do read this memoir. It's great especially for us brown people in the world today. So highly recommend. Go read this. I gave this book 4.25 out of 5 stars. Next up is a book by one of my favorite authors of all time. Could be the favorite author of all time, which I read and reviewed for my channel members, and that book is How to Stop Time by Matt Haig. And oh my god, I'm such a huge fan of Matt Haig's writing, his wisdoms, the illustrations that are in this book. This has been illustrated by Chris Riddell. There are about 50 illustrations in there, and they are simply phenomenal. This is a story of Tom Hazard, who looks like a 41-year-old, but he has been around for a long time, centuries in fact, and he needs to keep his secret because there is a huge secret, and what he has to do is he has to stay undercover. He has to keep moving from place to place so as to not raise people's suspicions. Why is this guy not aging? So this time what he does is he finds a job in a school in London as a history teacher, because what could be better than a man who has been around for centuries to teach history? And that's exactly what Tom does. All he has to do is make sure that he doesn't fall in love, because if he does, then everything is going to come unraveling. There's a secret society, there's a whole bunch of history over here, there's pockets of historical fiction and surprising cameos, which I'm such a huge fan of. I literally said, Matt Haig, you genius, and I went ahead and read this whole thing, and I enjoyed this book to no end. But I can't believe I'm saying this, but with Matt Haig's writing, what I expect is this explosive thing that goes off in my mind saying that, oh my god, this book is so me. It reflects me like I did for the Midnight Library. Even now, if I look over there, I'll be like, oh, no. But this is not such one such book. I know this is a very widely loved book among Matt Haig fans, but this was not my favorite Matt Haig, because I felt like there were too many pearls of wisdom. It was not necessary. The narrative dragged in places. But otherwise, on the whole, if you take those pearls of wisdom on their own, they are brilliant. But put them in these places, I'm like, you know what? They don't fit there. I mean, I'm no one to judge Matt Haig's writing, but it's just my personal opinion. I feel like I have to say that, because otherwise people will say, oh, how can you say that about Matt Haig's writing? I thought he was one of your favorite writers of all time. Well, he is. Which is why, even though I have all those issues with this book, his level of writing is such that I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. You imagine the bar that I've set for Matt Haig's writing and Matt Haig's books. That's what it is. If you'd like to see exclusive bonus content, including book reviews, which I will ask you for, then please do consider becoming a channel member of my channel, of course. I'll leave the link in the description box below. Thank you. Next up is a book that I went, what the heck did I just read the moment I finished it? And that book is The Sense of an Ending by Julian Barnes. This is a thin book. It's supposed to be fast-paced, but there are so many things that I wanted to note down, like, oh, okay, this is right, this is right, this is right. The writing is fluid. I liked it to a large extent, but that ending, it disgusted me, it annoyed me, but I can also see what exactly happened. I mean, the world is not a pure place, so I can see something like this happening somewhere. So that's my feelings about this book. I'll tell you what this book is about. This is the story of 3 friends who befriend a 4th, Adrian Finn, and they have this whole schoolboy kind of clique, and they move around with each other. Their relationship with each other is sort of hazy if you read through it, but years later, Tony Webster, the narrator, has had one failed marriage. He has a daughter, and he is pretty successful in his work. I think that's what I gleaned from it. But when he looks back through his memories, he sees that maybe not everything was as he thought they were. And I'm going to leave it at that, because if I say anything else, I will rant for ages because of that ending. Because there's so much more that this book tries to talk about. It talks about memory, it talks about our relationship with others, and how we try to, put our responsibility on others' shoulders. And it's a good book to read, but that ending, it's sort of comes to a point where it sours you to a point where you are like, the book is ending. It makes the book into itself. And that is exactly what happened with this book. I would recommend it if you are looking for a crazy kind of story. I mean, I don't know how else to put it, but it's good. But be prepared for a very, I wouldn't say nasty, but mildly disgusting ending. I did give this book 4 out of 5 stars. Next up is a book that I was part of a blog tour for, and that book is Hot Stew by Fiona Mosley. And this is a book that I thought was going to go one way, but it went a completely different way, and I see why it was named that, even in the different path. This is the story of women who are living in a building in Soho in London, and they are running their own brothels, but their very business-minded building owner, Agatha, decides to kick them out without any compensation, I think. And these women obviously are not about to let their whole lives go up in flames without notice, nothing. She just wants to bring the building down so that she can forward her own business. But how these women fight back against this eviction, and how Agatha tries to use her ways and means to get these women to leave. Is she successful? And what are the women going to do forms this entire story. And it's a great, well-written book about the difference in class, but it also, in a very subtle manner, talks about how what goes around comes around, and in a way that we are all connected to one another. It doesn't say it in explicit terms, and that's a great way of showing the human community as well, without saying that she's talking about the human community. It not only talks about this interconnected behavior of human beings, it also talks about power dynamics, because power is not just the thing that comes with money or wealth or status or anything of that sort. Power also comes with fighting for the right thing, and what these women are doing is a phenomenal thing, because I see the power, I see their fight, and I'm so pumped up that I'm like, yes, women, you go tell that owner to bugger off. And what I loved most about this book is its writing style. It's edgy, it's eccentric, and this style is something that you will remember forever, and that is something that Fiona Mosley does phenomenally well in here. And this is a book that I would definitely recommend. Please do go read this book. It shows the difference in class, in wealth, and in power as well. I gave Hot Stew 4.25 out of 5 stars. I was going to say that next up is Six of Crows, but I will talk about Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom together towards the end of the video, so I hope you'll stay. But next up, after Six of Crows, is a book called The Fixer by Suman Dubai. Yes, I finished reading this book and I was disappointed. I was hoping that this book would be an insight into how the world of cricket works, and especially the world of Indian cricket works, but this was fast paced, yes, and I flew through it. There's no doubting it, but that anchor was not there. Like that particular conflict that would have made me go like, oh shit, so this was what it was all about. That wasn't there, because this is the story of cricket combined with family politics, and half the time you have no idea what's going on, because what this person is doing and what this person is doing and what that person is doing, nobody can tell. It's that confusing, the narrative. Neil Upadhyay is a former cricketer who is now not being treated that well, but his family is in business and he has a ton of cousins who are fighting each other. His grandma, his dad, his uncle, all of these have some sort of power dynamic which I still don't understand. And Neil is now coming back as a coach, as an assistant coach, but there are things that are happening in cricket that he has no control over, but he now has to strive to fight to get that control. What he does to do that, what he does to take it back, is, I think it forms the entire story. But it's so confused, this whole narrative, man. You think that you understand what's going on, but even towards the end of the book, you're like, okay, so this was the person who was behind all of this, right? But who knows? Nobody can tell. So it's that confused, it's that muddled. I gave this book 2.75 out of 5 stars. I wouldn't recommend it. Not a fan. Next is Club You to Death by Anuja Chauhan, one of my most anticipated reads of this year. And this is the story of a fitness trainer who gets murdered in a posh Delhi club. And now ACP Bhavani Singh is on the scene. He is being helped by, what's his name again? Akash Dogra, who is a lawyer and who works for the upliftment of the poor and all of that. He's tall, he's smart, he's handsome as hell and all of that. And on the other hand, there's also Bambi Todi. I think that's how her name is pronounced. And these two are helping Bhavani Singh in his investigation as to what exactly happened with him. And I cannot say exactly what it is. I can't say anything else because that would be a huge spoiler. But I was so disappointed in this. I mean, it's not a bad read. It's very fast paced, it's funny, it's witty, it's humorous, and it talks about Delhi's upper class and their condescension towards a lot of things and all of that, because Anuja Chauhan knows how to write those stories. Proof is in those Pricey Thakur girls as well. I really wanted to love this book towards the very end, but that ending sort of ruined it for me. I was like, okay, this is unexpected. Unexpected is good in murder mysteries like this, but I don't like it. I mean, yeah, all the dots were connected, but somehow it felt very contrived to me. I don't feel like, oh yeah, how did I not see this? It was so it was so obvious, but it was so surprising. Oh my god, this is shocking. No, I mean, how did I not see this is the biggest of my concerns, because if I don't see it, that's good. That's a mark of a great writer. But I don't know, towards as we came to the end, I was like, okay, something of this sort is going to happen and I don't like it. I was reminded of one of Agatha Christie's books. I do give this 3.5 out of 5 stars. I wouldn't say it's a bad book, but it didn't work for me. And last but not the least is the duology that I have been waiting to read, but which I fell in love with, and that duology is the Six of Crows duology by Leigh Bardugo. Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, and I love these books to no end. I read Six of Crows and I went mental, completely mental. And this has a heist, an impossible heist with 6 outcasts. It's here, I'm not saying anything new, but these characters are so dear to me, especially Kaz and Jesper. I mean, I'll do anything Kaz tells me because he has put in so much thought to everything, and now I'm obsessed with the Shadow and Bone cast. This is a duology that you should definitely read because of how awesome, how action-packed, how witty, how great this found family trope is, and it's amazing to read. I mean, I can't say anything else about this because I'm so full of love for it, and all I'll say are like high-pitched squealing, Volcra screeches that you may or may not be able to hear because the pitch will be so high. But these two are books that you should definitely read. I'm not sure if the vlog for Crooked Kingdom has gone up yet, but I cried like a baby, like proper. I cried for like half an hour, 45 minutes easy, and at the end of it all, my throat was I was so choked up, it could be heard in my clips for that vlog, and I'm like, oh shit, this always happens to me. I gave 6 of Crows 4.5 out of 5 stars and Cricket Kingdom 5 out of 5 stars. I'm sorry, I can't speak anything else about this because I've already exhausted whatever I had to say, and I need to save words for myself because I can't give all my love for this duology away. I'm really sorry, I'm selfish like that. So these were all the books plus a couple of ebooks that I read in April 2021. Which of these did you like? Which ones do you not like? Which ones do you want to read? Which ones do you not want to read? Which ones have you read? Which ones have you added to your TBR now or have added to your wish list? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Another quick reminder, if you'd like to buy any of these books, then please use my Amazon affiliate links in the description box below. It would be of immense help to me. If you like this video, please like it and share it to spread the word. And if you like my content and would like to see more from me, don't forget to hit subscribe and click on the bell icon beside the subscribe button to get notified as and when I post new videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, keep reading, keep watching, and add melodrama to your life.